Hello and welcome to JOKAKAKA. This isn't our normal thing, but oh my god, Chainsaw Man's back.
It's back. I'm Sam, by the way.
Oh, and I'm Jim. Thank you for coming.
You're a little bit excited.
Sam, ZOMG. Chainsaw Man's back, chapter 98.
It's
I
back.
believe it was a 1.5 year hiatus.
I believe so. Somehow we came back out of nowhere after three one-shots by Fujimoto.
Yes, I actually didn't read the last one. I forgot.
Oh, you still haven't?
I forgot there was one that I didn't read. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oops.
No, we can still do an episode on that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do one. I think we said before we wanted to do like a Fujimo cast where we just talk about all the one
The
shots.
shorter ones.
So yeah, if I missed anything with that one, I guess you're gonna have to tell me. But OMG, after the hiatus, Chainsaw Man's back with chapter 98. It felt really weird
It's
that it just was called Chainsaw Man chapter 98.
It's very weird. I thought it'd be like Chainsaw Man 2 because it feels like a pilot for like a spin-off. Or like...
It kind of does. I feel like we're definitely gonna... to me, it was like a clever reintroduction to the universe. Like,
or like where the universe is at now.
Yeah, Fujimoto's not letting us dive headfirst. Like,
No.
we're only getting little taste of what the world is like.
He was the wait for the return of our lovable idiots that are left.
Yeah, in the meantime, we have a new lovable idiot who doesn't survive the entire...
Poor Bucky.
I know.
But there's a lot of theory just from this one chapter. Hey, and that's our specialty.
True. But yeah, this was a blast. I was so happy to read Chainsaw Man again. It felt surreal. Like, I literally
really
couldn't
did.
believe it.
Yeah, this is like something so stupid that only like reading Chainsaw Man, like, oh yeah, this is perfectly normal.
Yeah, I didn't even realize the chapter is called Bird and War, and that's pretty much
All it's fair in Bird and War, Jim.
Very funny.
That's what the ancient Hawaiians used to say.
So yeah, I guess we don't really know too much about what has happened since the hiatus ended.
Because where we left off, Denji's basically in school. He had a really cool superhero moment. He's basically really like taking care of like the new control devil fiend, essentially the reborn one.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And that's called...
Oh, by the way, spoilers for Chainsaw Man. If you're here, you should know that. But
yeah, what's it called? I think the main thing where our main characters like left off, Kabeni is somehow being alive, and that's basically it.
Yeah, to me the big tease I think was, because like there's always kind of like a little hook there, and the hook that I see is getting power back.
Yeah, that's
which I think that's probably going to be like part of. I don't think it's going to be the main story of this, but I think it's going to be like an arc is going to be like finding power or seeing what happened to power. And I think that introducing Bucky is going to be a funny way of like Bucky will definitely show up again. There's no way that Bucky's not going to show up again.
Yeah, there's also a status quo of like Denji being like a hero. And like a superhero technically, where people know about him, like at least about Chainsaw Man, like the actual like vigilante.
Yeah, and that was kind of like, well, that's the meme panel that everyone uses where he's like crying. He's like me for real. It was him. That scene is Denji realizing that like people love Chainsaw Man. Like Chainsaw Man is known throughout the world as like a beloved hero who fights for everyone's rights.
Yeah, So it's gonna be interesting whenever we check back in with him,
which I'm dying to. I'm dying to see Denji. I'm dying to see. I love Denji. Denji's so much fun.
But we gotta meet our Virgil to his Dante first and get their origins and it's basically their supervillain origins essentially.
So do you think this is gonna be like a Vegeta situation?
I think Vegeta, a Virgil. Like Virgil's way more like. Want to kill the main protagonist more than Vegeta does. Vegeta just like...
Well, Vegeta wanted to kill
Vegeta
Goku
wanted
too.
to, but he became more of a tsundere than like a yandere.
Well, I don't know anything about Devil May Cry, but aren't they brothers?
They are brothers, yes.
Whatever. This metaphor is not really going anywhere.
But what's it called? I just fucking brain farted there.
So I think it's really interesting to look at this one chapter compared to the one shots that we got.
There's a lot of comparisons there.
Like it's really interesting because they obviously were more grounded in reality. than like let's say Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man has like one foot in reality, but it always jumps into the fantastical. This stays like it really rides that line with like grounded emotions, but having like the funny like nonsensical fantastical elements with Bucky, which we haven't even said. Bucky is the chicken devil.
So I'm not sure if did you look at the preview or like the preview teaser images that came out like
I did,
the week
yes.
before, where like it's like it has like the famous like it was very reminding me of the Street Fighter cover of like Ryu and Akuma like face to face like that. It was like her and Chainsaw Man Denji.
Yeah,
and
I
then we
saw
had
that.
one of like her and Bucky, where you think, oh, Bucky might be it got you again. He did it again. Where you think, oh, this is gonna be the cute mascot character of this girl to kind of mirror off Denji, but same thing happens where nope.
I love that he doesn't even give you like a second to process what's happening. So just let's maybe summarize the events of the one shot or the chapter really quick.
I also just how this kind of like reflects a lot of chapter 1 with Denji, like the first meeting Denji is very like apparent.
Yeah, and I think it's really fun. It's a really good way to like have a fresh start. Starting like part 2, giving us like a new character, giving them like a pretty interesting backstory.
You know what's funny?
That's entertaining.
If people just read through this, like Shonen Jump, they're gonna finish like part 1, and then just like it's gonna be weird. People are not gonna pay attention. Oh, I don't know what they mean by that. Chapter 98's next or whatever, and it's like gonna start with like a Bucky. It's like the first image. Like, what the fuck happened between this chapter?
So yes,
it's like
chapter
going right into
begins.
Like an accidental time skip.
Yes, chapter 98 begins with a classroom that we've never seen before. A teacher introducing. They have a new class pet, the Chicken Devil, who introduces himself as a Bucky, which I assume is probably supposed to be a pun on like how chickens say like bakak, like
bakak or plucky or
like a sort of onomatopoeia. What is it like? Onomatopoeic joke or pun?
Yeah.
But
speaking of puns, he says
almost all the things this character says are puns related to chickens.
So to describe Bucky, it's just like a raw chicken with a bow tie. It's with wings for arms and the normal chicken feet, and it's like
he does have feathered wings, which I think is very interesting. And of course, his neck is cut off, and it's just like a gaping hole.
Like the second panel, it's just like him just standing on the podium. It's like really funny to me.
It's very funny. I love Bucky. Bucky is immediately hilarious and endearing. And it's funny too that like I don't know, like any other series when they say like, all right, in 3 months we're gonna kill him. We're gonna have to do a thing. I didn't expect the 3 months to happen like 5 pages later. Like it literally happens so quick.
Like I told you, like the one shots really prepare you for like time skips to just happen in them. Like
just rapid time jumps, yeah, which I appreciate because that's one thing I love about this chapter is that it just breakneck pacing.
Yes, and as like I said, the one shots all prepped you for this. But we have he says what the cluck. The students are like enamored by this chicken devil, which hilarious how because not many people are afraid of chickens, so he's a very weak devil.
Well, first they're all like mean to him, right? Like,
well, no, it's more like they're like not like you're kind of confused. Like, is it really safe? It's like, oh, he must be weak. But then
they like tease him. They start like teasing him, and like the one girl's like, "Want to eat some fried chicken?" And he's like, "That's cannibalism."
That was more of a joke that everybody laughed about that. But yeah,
they're still teasing him though.
But everybody's like, I don't know, more curious about like because probably their first encounter with an actual devil, to be honest, as well. I want to assume anyway. But so, like, the one girl says, "Oh, it's so pitiful. It's cute."
It is
so funny.
It is very funny, but yeah. So that's kind of like I guess the A plot. Let's say.
Well, we cut to our new our focus character, our main character, and it's like it's sitting on her desk, and she wants it to die.
So her name is Asa Mitaka.
Yes. So Mitaka would probably be the easiest way to.
Yeah, Mitaka. I believe Mitaka's her first name.
But yeah, she kind of wearing a uniform from like Goodbye Eri, like.
Yeah, it looks the same. I mean,
it's probably a very common uniform in Japan.
That to me that looks like I don't know. I didn't even think about uniform.
It was also probably fresh on his mind, so he had that ready to go. But yeah, she's like a loner. She doesn't want friends. She just kind of doesn't like the devil thing. Like she kind of walks by boys, like a group of girls, like a couple, like, and she kind of just hates everybody.
She does that classic emo thing where everything she's thinking, like she sees people having fun and she's like, you suck, get out of my way,
But
loser.
this is like opposite of Denji, where Denji kind of wanted that, like, although like wants to have friends, like he wants like all these things in life, where she doesn't want any of this. Really?
I always think about how Denji's living conditions in the beginning of Chainsaw Man are probably like some of the most horrific that I could possibly imagine.
But like
anyone to live through.
It really is. But him talking to Vegeta like, oh, we're gonna live somewhere nice. We're gonna have like all the toast with jam on it. Like
the idea of like, oh, my dream is to have food every day. Like that is like the baseline for what Denji wants.
It's terrible, but like it's so like wholesome when he's talking to Vegeta about just like showing him like everything.
Yeah, it makes Denji very like, I don't even know what the word would be. Like he's extremely empathetic. Like you can really empathize with him.
And he wants to touch
because
some
he
boobs.
seems so good. He seems so gracious.
And just like any man, he wants to touch some boobies, and that's you gotta respect
true.
that. But
it's true.
But yeah, I love this shot of her just like on a railing, like with like the buildings behind her. Like you think, oh, she's probably like, on the school roof, but like you it's so unusual to see like buildings taller than her, like taller than the rooftop behind her.
Really reminded me of Ghost in the Shell, the original Ghost in the Shell movie.
I can see that.
A lot of the like city scenes are like, I think it's inspired by Hong Kong. I have no idea how. Sense. I have no idea how like that tracks now, being more than almost like 30 years later from that movie.
I get that,
but it's sort of like so yeah, the class president comes up and they have a conversation that implies that like, oh, the world's shitty. Like there's so many people. Like it's like they talk about the buildings being like illegally constructed. So
yeah.
Corruption is rampant, and I guess people are just literally building like right on top of each other.
It's kind of funny because like as we learned that the class president made to deal with the justice devil, but she's kind of like talking about corruption, how she like hate like she basically would want to go get the corruption, like she wants to be justice instead, I guess. But like she hates Chainsaw Man, she hates the city, the mayor's corrupt. Like she's talking more about like would be like about the stuff that needs to be like the justice devil should be after that.
So another thing too, the class prez is eating like a Chainsaw Man curry bun, like a curry bread. So this just shows like there must have been a good, like a decent amount of time to pass for there being like huge
merchandising.
Yeah, for merchandise, like
there
must have
Chainsaw Man the lunchbox, Chainsaw Man the cereal.
We'd have to assume there's been at least several months that have passed. At least
I'm going to bet this is gonna be my first early predictor that like someone's gonna be like, in like a Chainsaw Man mascot outfit is gonna be killed instead of Denji because they think he's Chainsaw Man. But yeah, you say the building construction. The mayor has a DUI. The Chainsaw Man's playing Devil Hunter, so like basically I said he's like a vigilante. It feels like a devil hunting vigilante, like Blade. But yeah. So, and she's kind of freaked, and we're also keeping a devil chicken as a pet.
Well, this is kind of the first inclination that we have where, what's her name? Mitaka, the main girl, is like, she hates devils and she hates like devil hunters. She hates that Chainsaw Man, who she views as a devil, is a like a devil himself and should die. And she wants
all devils
Bucky and Chainsaw Man to die.
She's like, all devils should die. She's one of those like. It's one of those kind of characters where like they hate whatever race or species, like it's like honestly like, and then just want to kill them no matter what. It's gonna be ironic that she's gonna become one, but.
So then we kind of have more scenes where the class is like making fun of Bucky, and it's kind of cruel. Like they're definitely making fun of him, like at his expense. Like this is not like nice.
It also kind of comes across of like them like. Doing like a sitcom like befriending thing like Bucky and just make everybody laughing at like stupid joke. It's like it feels like a weird sitcom character as well because he has his stupid gimmicks.
He has he has the funny like a pun thing
like the Urkel or something. Like they're just making fun of them and like that's the humor. Like and like they're also just like make fun of themselves by like playing along with it. It feels like,
but he seems like fine with it. Like he's a bit flustered, but I don't know. The big thing though is the main girl still hates him. Like the whole time she does not laugh.
The only time he really emotes is like in the beginning where like I don't want to be eaten. I don't want to. Then I'll die. Chickens die when they are eaten. Like
Yeah. And as I said, within like a few pages, thankfully, we get to the 3-month mark.
3 months later.
The teacher literally says, "All right, anybody want to be a devil hunter? Come on, come up here, kill Bucky."
But
and
yeah,
I love the way he's like leans forward, like dejected, like ready to die. And he has like a drip. It looks like a drip is coming out of his like hole.
Also, you see her like smugly like doing this really smug smirk, saying "finally."
Yeah, she's so happy. She's so happy to finally kill him. But then, like a scene out of what's
It's
that movie
so
with Robin
stereotypical.
Williams?
You
What's
can't.
that?
You have to be more specific. There's a lot of hints with Robin Williams.
The one with all the kids that stand up, Dead Poet Society. Like the scene in Dead Poet Society, all the kids stand up and they're like, "We're not gonna kill." Well, she says we're not gonna eat Bucky.
I thought the plan was to kill Bucky.
Yeah, the class president literally says we won't eat Bucky, which is funny because they were just supposed to kill him, right? They were supposed to eat him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if they ate him, like something there would probably be some kind of devil effect, where like they would also become a hybrid with like the chicken devil or something.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a very good idea.
No, I think unless it's a chainsaw man eating him, nothing's gonna happen. So,
but it's funny because the class pres even says something like, "This is kind of a thing." Like I guess people who are against like eating meat say where it's like, you have to draw a line between what animals are acceptable to eat. But the class pres is like, yeah, we eat living things, sure, but Bucky's isn't a chicken or a devil. He's our friend now. It's very funny. It's
chicken
very
devil's
cheesy.
friend, not food.
And then they have like a hilarious scene. The teacher cheers and it's like, Bucky's pardon. Like,
sure.
it's just so over the top. It's so silly.
They even do like an anime OP where they're all like running out and like the chickens like jumping in the air saying yeah.
Yeah, so like the teacher reveals this was his plan the whole time.
Also,
he wanted them to love the chicken.
Also, you forget like fuck math class. We're gonna play soccer. I'm like, what? Can you do that?
It's hilarious. Like this, literally, it reaches like such levels of like insane happiness. I knew like you're just waiting for the fucking shoe to drop. Like.
But our main character's left alone like in the classroom again. We get a shot of the city, like or like the corrupted like buildings in like the background. I kind of really do love that like so much.
I don't remember Chainsaw Man looking like that before.
Yeah.
So maybe it is implying that even more time has passed because they said what the mayor has a DUI. Who did I think the Prime Minister of Japan.
A lot of people died.
Wasn't he like specifically murdered by Makima?
Probably. She killed a lot of people, Jim.
I remember there being like a specific thing. Whatever, maybe not. But so I wonder if there's supposed to be like the idea that because control maybe the control devil's gone. There's no control left, and now
there's a control devil technically.
People wait, what?
There's a control devil technically, but like we don't know what she's going through right now.
But Makima was like, she was like exerting control. Where let's say the new version of the control devil doesn't really know yet.
Yeah.
But so let's say maybe then now that there's no control, there's no one like keeping an eye out on society. Now weird things are happening. People are just building shit. Like people like the mayor is a DUI. Like shitty people are in government. Also, they're bringing devils into classes for kids to make friends with. Like, that's fucked up.
I feel like something the Justice Devil should be managing, but like apparently, I guess they have better things to do.
I guess so.
But what are they called? Mitaka is like approached by the teacher because she's outside, just not interacting. To say you should play, and the chicken devil Bucky comes up and hugs her. He says her name, and says come play soccer with us, and like. The name was only known by class president and the teacher, so it kind of that nice wholesome moment where like, oh, I have friends now.
So yeah, she has her like little character moment where she's like, oh, I was just jealous the whole time. I always wanted to be part of everyone's fun, and then
she was also.
It's funny.
We see flashbacks of what she saw beforehand, where she says, "I kind of hate all of them. Like I don't need any of those things."
Yeah, and I feel like this is also a very like
trope.
Relatable teenage thing. Like
it's also a trope.
It is, it's a joke, but I think it's definitely like it's pretty relatable. Like when you're a loner or when you're excluded from society, you can double down and be like, "Oh well, you suck actually," even though I'd love to be friends with you. But then I didn't even notice this until like the second reading. You can tell that the class president is standing right in front of her
in trip range.
As she falls and crushes Bucky.
I feel like somebody in the
brutally.
crowd. I think somebody in the crowd would have noticed that though. I feel like
You'd think so, unless she was using weird devil powers to make it like super fast.
I get maybe, but yeah, Bucky is fucking. It looks like he got like disemboweled more than crushed.
I really just love this one page before you see Bucky's like intestines come out, because you know that he's gone, you know something horrible happened, but he makes you sit with it for a full page, and you have to sit with her reaction the whole time. Ugh,
it's horrific, and she kind of like everybody's crying, and we kind of get the hurt. She's going through a depression essentially.
I love that she like throws up and passes out. It's very funny. But yeah, the reactions are great. Everyone's so fucking sad their chicken friend died.
They have a little grave for him, like a cross. It's really funny.
It is very fucking funny.
But yeah,
it's very hilarious that they like have a grave for him. They reference that later. But she even says she kind of admits to wanting to kill herself here.
Yeah,
she says, everyone in class would want me to die. You know what? If I had to choose, I would kill myself also.
She says, I think they'd all vote for me to die, and I vote for me too. But yeah. I think, she's in her pressure, like her doorbell, and I got like, oh no. When I first saw that, like, no, you stay away from doors.
I know, right? That is really ominous.
But
it's also really funny too, like,
she lives alone.
Goodbye Airy.
Also,
I just I don't know if you remember in Goodbye Airy, like every page had the same 4-panel layout, and this one page where it shows the Bucky's grave, it's that same 4-panel layout, and I can't help but notice that and think of Goodbye Airy when I see it.
But yeah, we get basically the Prez and Teach come knock on her door, and they said they're gonna go visit Bucky's grave, and they go to a crosswalk, and the crosswalk goes red. She's like, oh, I'm just gonna wait for the crosswalk to go green because that's the safe thing to do.
You gotta follow rules, Sam.
Gotta follow the rules. And like, you're such a goody two shoes. It's nighttime. That's like a joke in Harold and Kumar, the first one, where like they're like, just cross the road. It's like there's no one here. And then like Razy step left, like a cop comes by or something horrible would happen.
It is funny because that is like a real thing. Like when I lived abroad, you would see like really drunk. It'd be like 1 a.m. and really drunk guys would be like leaving the bar, and there'd be nobody on the road, and they would sit and wait for the thing to turn green. Like, there is no one on the road, sir. You
being
can just walk
drunk in public
it.
is one thing, Jim, but jaywalking, that's a serious crime.
Well, you can be drunk in public abroad. It's not a big deal.
It's like normal in
Austria. Not ever. I shouldn't say
Austria.
abroad. In Austria, you can be drunk in public, and the cops are just like, yeah.
But her being like a goody two shoe triggers the Prez. And she's like, so this is like when like everything kind of just kicks off. This is when the Chainsaw Man shit starts coming in because.
So yeah, interestingly,
go ahead.
The president says that the teacher, Mr. Tanaka, actually apologized for her action of killing Bucky, because like she's basically been shunned by.
I'm pretty sure she's probably stayed home for a day or two. I would assume as well. Like,
but so yeah, and we actually get like a really cool, the panels where the president transforms into her weird fleshy form. We get a really cool, like, I don't know, it's like a continuity thing where we see the same like 3 panels of everyone's reaction, and it's just really, it's cool. Like, Fujimoto is very clever when it comes to paneling.
He's good at this whole manga thing.
He's really good at this whole manga thing. Yes, I would agree.
He should do more of this.
He should.
But yeah, but you also see like her back, like you also see like around like the transforming character, which I really cool. You see her like back kind of like bulging and like I don't know how to describe like the transformation she's doing because she's coming like a flesh monster, but it just looks like you see like a line coming out of her back, and it's just like like morphing and. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge fan of this design. I don't really understand what's going on.
It's just supposed to be. I don't know how it's supposed to be justice, but hey, it's supposed to be the first like fleshy, just devil that she's gonna have to slaughter. But
like, I understand that it's supposed to just go away quick, but I don't really get it. Like, I don't really like it either. It's just
someone's
whatever.
Gonna find like the inspiration for it of like some like justice statue that is based off of and because of multiple heads or something and some kind of. Like...
To me, that's like the only thing it has going on for it. Like the fleshy like. intestinal thing. It doesn't really it doesn't do anything for
Yeah,
her.
I don't know why it had like all like the it had, but I like her like legs are dangling off of it. You know, like walking on like the flesh arms. But
Because
I love
just
that.
thinking about the rules of the universe, because I think that's kind of important. Like we have a distinction between fiends, devils, and like
Hmm.
I guess devil man. If you want to just like
Hybrids.
yeah
Yeah.
use a term, but then again, like it seems like she just made a contract. I don't know
Yeah.
if it would be fair to call her a devil man.
She's like a speed in between of like hybrid and devil, where like she still seems to be like the driving force of this demon. Of like,
Because they're not. She's definitely not like a chainsaw man. She's
No,
not
no,
like
no.
that kind of devil man. But she just is like a human that made a contract. So
yes, she's
interesting.
maybe she's like the like Santa Claus, where like she's also just like I don't think she's really a half like a hybrid, but
Yeah, I think that's probably the closest.
because I think it's the only thing I could think of. But what's it called? So yeah, but also like, Perez was having sex with the teacher, but the teacher liked her more than the president, and that made her jealous and everything. And that's when she said she made a contract with the Justice Devil and to find out how to get a happy ending with Mr. Tanaka. Because apparently justice is how you find a happy ending.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, all the heads little panel like her just saying that, like the one face on the bottom right, it's like really funny. It's like it looks like a smug face that Anya would do in Spy Family kind of. But yeah, but basically it's like she needs to die, and that's when she like, comes after her.
And interestingly, the Justice Devil was the one that orchestrated
Yeah.
like the death of Bucky.
It's so funny that
the accidental murdering of Bucky.
the devil like yeah, you totally trip her. It's so funny. Like, it was a literal devil on her shoulder.
Yeah.
It's so funny, like how that works. It's like that justice, I guess. I wish it was more in line with the theme of justice. I feel like that's a very important thing to like you could have in the story, but
And then another thing that I love, like so as she's about to get killed by this giant like fleshy hand, she has like this moment where she kind of realizes everything, and she's like, "Oh,
it's like
if I hadn't been such a weirdo, my life could have been a lot better."
well, she basically just like goes to like the life flashes before her eyes, but instead of the light flashing before her eyes, it's just that like I learned something today kind of thing.
Yeah. I just love this page with her face just exploding
It's like
outwards.
it's cool because you see it slash her, and like the slash finishes, and then like the eruption happens. It's like really cool. Like it's not like an
It's
instant
awesome.
thing. But yeah,
And then her eyeball pops out, and then that's when she sees the light turns green, and then a new little devil friend is here.
I'm calling him a little It looks like moth, like a gremlin Mothman hybrid from like
I love
Persona,
this
the
guy.
Persona Mothman or the SMT like Mothman without the wings. But yeah,
I love this guy.
he said, "If you want to live, your body will be mine."
And yeah, she chooses to, and it's like instantly her body reforms.
Her hair's down. She has a really cool scar. So you can see the scar like light up when she does like the spinal. So she's the war devil essentially, and which is like it's his first intro to her powers, which seems to be she can turn anything, or maybe just only like humans to any kind of human or flesh into a weapon. Because we see her
Yeah.
just instantly turn his head and spine and call it the Tanaka spinal cord sword. So as long as she can like name it, I guess she can just do that, and it's awesome. I love.
I also have to just say, like, the use of the sound effects, like the page where she rips his neck off. There's like a burk 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 noise that runs from the bottom of the page all the way to the top, and it's just like it's really cool because it's like she's ripping like the fucking sound effects out of him. I don't know, it works amazing. And then he's also like, ugh.
It's probably yeah, and it just like I said, her scar lighting up in like the background of it too, is just really fucking cool. I love me a good scar on like anime character. But
yeah, it's awesome. It's just really cool. The way that the like
He's
spinal cord sword looks is awesome.
He's like,
The lore is really cool.
I gotta give my girl either A, special eyes, B, an eye patch, or C, a scar, or all the above, or 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
But so yeah, she does her epic. What the hell am I? My name's the War Devil. Die for my warm up kill, which is hilarious. Also, if you like see like the spinal sword, it like bent.
Yeah.
It's like I would call it a curved sword. It's like a bent sword.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Is it supposed to be like it opened up? I don't know. It's really interesting. It just looks like nothing I've seen before, honestly.
But yeah, it just cuts like arms and everything. She cuts the arm off and grabs it like a fine hand, and she turns it into a hand grenade.
Which is very funny, because it has like the hand on it. It's really cool, like the way that the hand grenade looks. It has like a hand inside of it.
It's just he had so much like possibilities to do with his devil, and I'm excited to see. Hopefully, like actually is like the the rival like character in this. So she throws the sword like at her, and it gets like kisses her, and then like a happy ending, then blows him up and does the end of Goodbye Eri, where she walks away from explosion because Goodbye Eri, which is a prototype for this panel to get it even better.
I also have to say, like, the slash that she does, like the way that the word slash is written in kanji, I guess, it just cuts right through her with the sword. It's so cool. Like, I feel like so when I first read this, I read it on my phone because I was at work and I was like, oh my god, I need to read this before anything is spoiled for me.
Same.
But I like looking at it now, like I'm actually looking at like the full page spreads. It's so much better looking when you read it this way.
I love the multiple heads you can just see. It's so good. Intestines everywhere. It's like he's back, and like her keep walking with intestines still like springing out like streamers. It's so
yeah,
gory.
It's awesome.
So
and then of course we have like the tease that she'll go after Chainsaw Man.
Also, Chainsaw
and then
Man.
She does an epic sit, and then she says her funny line.
So wait, so she says like there's a post as a Chainsaw Man calling party.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't know, but she says, I'll make you vomit nuclear weapons back up. So she knows, because remember, if you remember from the origins of the Chainsaw Man true power, nuclear weapons is something he ate, technically, the devil.
True.
Along with like Nazis and many other. I don't have the list of everything he ate. But so, a lot of people are doing series of like, oh, this is maybe the Four Horsemen kind of thing, because this is war. Maybe we get pestilence, famine, or death. The death devil.
The Death Devil.
But people, because like another thing, people are like, oh, is she a fiend or is she just like obviously not a hybrid, but like, so I think if it's not a fiend, I don't think, because it had to make a deal with her. And I'm thinking like,
I don't know. I think she might be a fiend because she says my name is War Devil.
But I don't think the devil would have like. He made a deal to keep her alive, so I'm thinking like it's gonna be like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, where like she'll switch between like devil mode, which is like gonna be the long hair down, scar maybe out, or like, and then have her like be like herself as well. But like,
we'll see. I mean,
kind of
is there any purpose?
I think
is there any purpose for that? Like,
kind of have a reverse Puchita Denji, where like maybe she actually just like. Her and her devil he kind of has his own appearance as well, like a very like, I guess like more of a monster gremlin appearance. I feel it's just like he'll just be like a switch off thing for her.
But is there like any purpose in having her back? Like her entire arc literally got resolved like seconds before she died. Like, do we need to bring this original character back? Can't she just be the War Devil fiend? Like,
I don't know.
I'm pretty convinced that she's just a fiend. Like the we'll never see Mikata or whatever her name is again. Like he basically said like, because isn't that what like devils do? To make fiends, they basically just like reanimate the corpse. So he's saying like,
but did she need her permission of the corpse to do that though?
I don't know. Maybe because it does seem like a. Like, as you said, like, it does seem like it could be
He says, if you want to live, your body will be mine. So maybe he's, like, in control, but she's still in there somewhere, maybe? Because she'd still be alive, but her body's not hers right now. Or, like... I think that could be a thing. And her eyes were knocked out, and so his eyes did replace her. Maybe it's something to do with her eyes that fell out. I don't know. Because eyes are a thing in Chainsaw Man. But, So, what do you think is... Can
Yeah, she's a fiend. I'm convinced she's a fiend.
Okay, so anything that you wanted to like try to predict or maybe theorize about coming up with her?
Well, I know that there was one panel I kept seeing people share about Makima mentioning like war specifically as something that she wanted to get like rid of, use Chainsaw Man to get rid of. So
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of like setting this up. Um, going to like the idea that she wants the nuclear weapons.
And this
Uh,
devil, well, and I guess devils do know of stuff that were deleted. I guess that humans don't know about anymore.
yes, but I think it's weird that the War Devil would want nuclear weapons because.
It wants war back. It needs more. Need to be more powerful. Because I guess you
But
see.
think about what nuclear weapons have done to our world. They've reduced like big wars. Like wars still happen,
It also.
but
I think also,
nuclear weapons
yeah.
prevent. Like the idea of having nuclear weapons is like it prevents war from like escalating essentially.
I also feel maybe with like the it losing the nuclear weapons and everything, where like I guess the war devil kind of like shrunk down in power, or like people stop being afraid of war when nuclear weapons aren't really an option or anything, like because that's like the big fear when anyone goes to war, where like I feel he wants to bring it back so he can get stronger. But like I'm wondering, like, do they know a way? Like, Denji didn't eat that, so like, do they know a way to remove stuff out of like the chainsaw devil's stomach or something?
That'll be interesting.
Does it want to get war back so it can like? Because like I guess because we saw how the darkness devil looked, where it's just something like insanely like big and just menacing and powerful on its own, where like his base appearance is literally just a fur ball. Like
Mm-hmm.
so maybe he's trying to like reclaim like a throne of like a new form and everything. Where he might be the weakest out of if you think the four horsemen, like famine's probably still probably pestilence is huge and death of course probably the strongest. So like this war is probably the weakest of the horsemen if we had to like theorize that.
Did you ever read any of the Discworld books?
No.
Are you familiar with Terry Pratchett and writing
Don't
the
think
Discworld
so.
books? Long story short, it's just a really big like fantasy universe that this guy created. And there's a lot of different books. It's very like humorous. Like it's more like ironic than it is like just straight up fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one book in the series called Small Gods, and it's about this one god who used to be a really powerful god because gods exist in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to be really powerful, but the power of a god is proportional to how many people believe in it.
Worshippers.
So yeah, even though he used to be super strong, now he's a tiny little turtle, and only one child believes in him because he found the turtle. And then it's kind of about like him getting more followers, and then they go on an adventure. So I wonder if maybe it's kind of the same, like what you're talking about. Like maybe because what's her name?
Well, because like I think the Nazis.
What's the girl's name? I can't think.
What? I almost said Mikasa.
Not Mikasa.
I know.
You're gonna say Mikasa.
I know.
Makima. Because Makima was able to control the world and prevent war from happening.
Don't forget,
the War Devil's gotten super weak, and now he's like coming up to take over.
Because think about it, I think they mentioned the Nazis and nuclear weapons, like the two big things. I'm like, so World War II basically just fuck all, and all like the trauma and like fear from that generated is just not existent really.
Yeah.
So like I said, he is the weakest, and the only reason he wants to go after Chainsaw Man is to reclaim those fears or the things that can lead up or make people remember war.
Yeah. I just think getting nuclear weapons is kind of silly because
I want to see what the nuclear bomb what devil looks like the nuclear devil.
I just don't. So here's why I think it's kind of weird that he'd want to go nuclear weapons, because you have two outcomes with nukes. One outcome is he controls them and kills every human. Then there's no humans left to fear devils. Or B, he just creates a situation like mutually assured destruction where, let's say, what is it called in this universe? USSR and America have nukes, but they don't fight. So then there's less war. I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense for the War Devil to want nukes to go back in the world. I feel like he'd want to cultivate as many wars as possible on a grand scale. This is my epic fan theory after reading a 50-page chapter of this manga that I enjoy.
I like my mentality of like the War Devil trying to get back to get stronger again because be the weakest out of the horsemen. But then again, they could not be horsemen; they could just be the four like generals of hell. I don't know.
I definitely do think that we're gonna go to hell in
Oh,
part
yeah.
2. I think that hell's going to kind of be maybe because one other thing that I wanted to bring up is we've learned that when you kill a devil, it basically goes to hell, and then when a devil dies in hell, it goes back to Earth or like the real world. Also, the little detail is they hear the chainsaw revving when they die. That's the only thing they can remember about the former world. So I feel like going to hell is probably going to be the key to unlocking the things that Chainsaw Man has removed from the world.
Oh, I was also thinking like maybe like if she's still like a part of the body, maybe she like when she's out in the open as herself, like she befriends Denji or whatever and doesn't know that he's Chainsaw Man, and like maybe I can see that also just being a thing.
Like a funny like
Yeah, I don't
like a miraculous ladybug situation.
Sure.
Where the main characters don't know their secret identities.
So, what things do you think, I guess, will be addressed other than the ones we talked about then from part 1 of Chainsaw Man? Do you think, like, any of the hybrids that were controlled by Makima that probably aren't dead for good will be brought up?
I don't know.
That's something that got pushed aside completely and ignored and forgotten about. Like, everybody else that Makima had control of that were just, like, even if Denji, like, chainsawed them, they probably wouldn't have been dead for realsies.
Even in that arc, it felt like they were kind of being like brushed aside. Like we weren't supposed to think too much about the fact that what's her name?
Makima had all the hybrids.
Yeah, and that Guan Chi like shows up.
But I
don't know. Like,
was,
I'd like to see Guan Chi again.
Character for him to react to, if anybody, from that. Oh, one thing I saw. Remember how I said where we're not sure because she's probably in the head of herself now and like not her body. It's like similar to Aki, who's like in a mind palace essentially.
Yeah.
So like it could be like similar to that. That's one thing I forgot to talk about. But
yeah, no, that's a good idea. So that's a good theory. I feel like we might see that.
So who we have? We have Denji. We have the child, essentially the new control child. We have Octopus Guy is still somehow alive.
I was gonna say Octopus Guy. He's like the one, right?
I always forget about him. People are like, oh, I can't wait to see him. Like, I literally do not remember much with him.
He has an epic moment.
I know he has an epic moment, but I'm just like, he did like one thing I forgot about him. And we have what's his name? Who's like the tall
Kobeni?
Oh, she's there. She's gonna be bumbling around. Of course, she will be best girl by default, of course.
Oh, Kishibe.
Yeah,
we
Kishibe.
Have Kishibe, right?
Yep, he's probably in charge of the organization now, I would bet. Or like by default, or maybe not. He put someone else here because he doesn't want to be bothered with that power.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would enjoy.
But like
that role.
But I'd be happy to see him. They're like the four characters that are left that we know of. The four characters from before that the Makima child came in. So I'm excited. Anything else you can think about?
Not really. It's funny to try and talk a bunch about essentially what is like 50 pages, but I just really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading more. I know you said this is going to be weekly, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, what? If he goes to hell to find power, will we see characters that we've seen before that died in there?
Oh, that's interesting because it's not really
Himeno there. We see like maybe
we haven't really been confirmed, or if like what happens to humans in the afterlife,
or the hybrids, or the fiend ones, like the human bodies that are like part of the devil.
Yeah, because Makima had mentioned that there were like several different afterlives at one point, but she has like had the Chainsaw Man eat the memory of like most of them, so we really don't know. Like, maybe we could see some other characters in hell. That'd be interesting. We
get Beam down there, and he's like, "Oh my God! For some reason I know you. I'm gonna let you ride me around through hell, the lavas of hell." Like that's.
I'm just really captivated by the mystery of the chainsaw demon or the chainsaw devil. I'm just like, I'm so curious as to what the true secret behind it is. Like, why is that the one that has the power to erase memory?
Yeah, especially like it's a weapon that came in like very later on in, you know what I'm trying to say, in like human history.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was being used for a very long time.
Oh wow, Texas Chainsaw Massacre really like did a toll on the fucking world, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder when the modern chainsaw was really introduced into pop culture.
So like there had to be something behind it, like that we know. Maybe Chainsaw Man is actually death, the Death Devil.
That would be interesting.
That's why it kills the memories of like for good. Like it'd be the most powerful horseman.
It would be interesting if it was kind of like a secret. It's like in Persona when you fight one of the bosses and it's like, oh no, he actually was the demon Arcana, not the Hierophant.
What? You mean he was Loki? No. But yeah.
But yeah,
it'd be fun.
Good.
So
good. I like it. I like Chainsaw Man. It makes me happy. I'm happy it's back.
So yeah. So I guess we'll let people know what we're doing with this because we're not gonna cover it weekly. We're kind of gonna do a like a month wrap up, essentially. We'll take a month of chapters because this is a long first chapter, so it's probably going to be like definitely shorter after these, most likely.
My idea, and tell me if you think we could do something better, would be maybe wait for like the next month to happen, and then so that would be a way for us to kind of like have more of a consistent release schedule rather than like.
Because what would be after this month? It'd be how many do we got? We got 1, 2, 3. It would technically be 3 chapters for this month because the last month is last day is the 31st of this recording.
So yeah, maybe early August we'll get together again
to do 3 chapters.
Yeah, discuss the first 3 chapters. I guess we won't really need to discuss the first one again.
Second,
maybe
third,
just
unless it's how it ties back in. But
yeah. But yeah, and then I think that'll be a fun way to handle this.
Yeah, it's just fun.
I'd love to talk about this.
Getting
more.
back into the monthly recording grind since no part 9, so
still no JoJo.
We got this back somehow beforehand.
Yeah. Honestly, I guess I always expected this to come back first, but damn, like I'm still just waiting for JoJo.
Yeah. But hey, we got Chainsaw Man.
Rocky.
I'm happy. We're good. We're hopefully getting the anime stuff in like trailer next month as well. Depending on the recording of the first wrap up, we might have a reaction to that trailer as well. You can talk about as well. So yeah. Anything else? We wrap it up? Should we? I'm not sure. We could plug up. Should I remove the spine sword out of the?
Yeah.
Should we make a deal? Make a deal with the plug devil.
Make a deal with the plug devil.
Thank you all for checking this out. I know we talked about what we were going to do with Chainsaw Man during one of our streams. I think both of our streams we probably talked about this. But again, put your comments and your thoughts, theories, fact checks. All those things that you usually have to correct us. That because we're notable podcasters are wrong. It's our motto. So yeah, do all that YouTube stuff. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter or me and Jim separately. You can also join a Discord to discuss Chainsaw Man with other peeps as well. And with that, I think we're good to go, and we'll see you next month, I guess, or the end of this month, probably beginning of next month, because the last chapter comes out the last day of this month.
Yeah, we'll see you in early August. Check back again early August for Chainsaw Man. JOKAKAKA Chainsaw Cast.
Do we need a name, or just stick with the Fujimoto cast?
I like Fujimoto cast, but it's not very descriptive. So let's shoot it to the fans. Fans out there, you got any funny name ideas? Hit me with them.
And if we had if you call any of our side series, we know we really stretch some of those names.
True.
But all right, I guess we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.